Hello guys, I know I usually do paranormal videos and stuff like that, but today I'm going to be talking about the tales of one of the most disturbing yet grotesque uh, cryptids in Canadian folklore. Today we're going to be talking about the history of the Wendigo. The Wendigo is a malevolent spirit that comes to life when we commit one of the most ultimate acts of evil, cannibalism. They have been in my culture and Native American culture since time immemorial. Now, most uh, most claims who've seen the Wendigo have described it as a gaunt-looking human. A lot of the artwork that we've seen all around the web, they don't really depict what a Wendigo really looks like. The first ever case of a Wendigo happened in the 18th century or 17th century, it's one of the two, where a Canadian man, Swift Runner, was trying to get to a fort and uh, just a second here. 1793, a native named, his name was Swift Runner, and he was trying to get to Fort Saskatchewan, I think, in the middle of a blizzard, and his family was starving. He was with his wife and a few of his kids. Some were even still babies, and he committed one of the ultimate acts of evil. He killed his entire family and cannibalized them. He arrived at the location and said that his family is missing and someone like killed them or something like that. But when he told the officials that, they noticed something strange about Swift Runner, that if no wait, they were killed in the blizzard. My bad. But basically, they looked at Swift Runner and noticed that how is he still alive, but his family died in the blizzard and he's like all fat and stuff? Why isn't he dead with them? Like he would have freeze to death. So he took the law enforcement back to his home and showed the inside of his home, and there they found a very, very grotesque sight. They found skeletal remains of Swift Runner's family. He ate every single one of them. He was immediately arrested and sentenced to life and death. Sentenced to death in Fort Saskatchewan. He claimed that his actions were that of the Wendigo, the most dangerous Canadian and Native American cryptid known by Native Americans and Canadians. When he was when he got the noose around his neck, he made it clear that he made it very clear, a strange claim to the law enforcement, that he is no longer a man, and then they hung him. Now, I've heard of dozens of people who've apparently suffered from the condition Wendigo psychosis. Wendigo psychosis is when it's a terrible form of cabin fever. Like, even though you're out in the woods for a very long period of time, and you may have rations to eat, but what happens in this scenario is that the person develops the belief that they're going to turn into a monster and cannibalize the other people around them. So it's very, very, very scary. You could think it's like I've heard natives Americans talk about, once a person who's turning into a Wendigo eats a human flesh, and they're always going to want to eat it. They can never get enough. The Wendigo is always hungry. Even when a person turns into a Wendigo, the cold and the frozen Canadian and the cold Canadian forest is their gallows for eternity. They they can never get enough. They're always hungry. They always eat a piece of themselves. When that's how hungry they are. And a Wendigo has a supernatural ability to make you hallucinate. They can also mimic voices. They can they can move at speeds between time and space to be where the victim is. When a Wendigo has its sights on you as a victim, you can't escape it. You are dead. You can't. There's no getting out of there. You are its victim, and it's gonna keep hunting you. It will never stop hunting you. As long as you're in the woods, as long as maybe you can escape it. I've seen dozens of people, heard dozens of people who have survived Wendigo encounters and lived to tell the tale. Like in this story, another story where a person has seen a Wendigo, not became a Wendigo, is that these two guys were going camping in a cottage in the Canadian wilderness. I forget where specifically it is, but it's somewhere in Canada or Wyoming or something like that. Anyway, so they got into their cabin and they saw this pale human with very long arms and long, sharp claws, resembling almost like a pale goblin almost, with pointy ears and very, very sharp teeth. Now, they survived the encounter because the Wendigo ran off, supposedly, and I saw this in like a documentary and stuff. So, like, it took off, and they lived to tell the tale about the Wendigo. Now, the other story that I've heard is that on a bus in Canada, there was this guy who just got on the bus because he was going home, and this guy behind him supposedly was a Wendigo or suffering from Wendigo psychosis. He attacked the person who was sitting in front of him with a knife. First he killed him, and then he started to eat his flesh on the bus. He didn't stop or tried to continue on his rampage until he was put down by the cops. Now, I've heard that in Canada, and mostly Ontario, is that Kenora, a small town in Ontario, well, it's not really a small town, it's pretty big. A town in Kenora is pretty big for Wendigo sightings. It's also known as the Wendigo capital of the world because so many people have seen Wendigos, they've heard Wendigos. A lot of people think Wendigos make this like demonic elk noise, but me personally, I've never heard a Wendigo make a noise like that. I've personally never seen a Wendigo. I want to go find one myself. Anyway, so that's all I gotta say for the way to kill Wendigos is either to burn their hearts, and their hearts can get as small, as tiny as an acorn. I know it's crazy, but that's the one way to kill them. Stab them through the heart with fire or any heated blade, or you get a Native American chief to perform some sort of in a way, an exorcist to cast the evil Wendigo spirit out. That is how you get rid of a Wendigo. There's only two ways to kill them because guns won't kill them. It'll hurt them, but it won't kill them. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is episode 1 of Cryptid Tales. I'm going to be starting this more often on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.